Hi everyone, it's Monday morning. I just started reading Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk, and so far it's delightfully weird. I'm not even quite sure what's happening, but basically there's this old woman, and her neighbor comes to her one night and says that their other neighbor has died, and so they go check it out. And now they're having a funeral, and that's all that's happened so far, but I'm already really invested. The writing style is beautiful, so I'm excited to keep reading it. Hi everyone, it's Tuesday afternoon. I'm about to go to work for the first time in 3 months, I think. I look so bad right now. I just got out of work half an hour later than I was supposed to because it was so busy tonight. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting it. I sweat so much. Look at the back of my mask. I don't know if you can see it because of the sun, but there's tons of foundation on it that just sweat off of my face because it's so hot. Oh my god. It's definitely golden hour if the sun has anything to say about it. While I was doing the dishes at work, I started listening to Recipe for a Perfect Housewife by someone whose name I don't remember. This was my first day back to work since March 24th. I was honestly not expecting it to be as busy as it was, but I made $14 in tips, so I don't even care. I mean, I do, but I'm acting like I don't. It's 8 o'clock, so now I'm going to go home and eat dinner. Hello everyone. It is now much later. It's 1:56 a.m. I just got off of a FaceTime call with some of my friends that I haven't seen in a really long time, so that was great to get to talk to them some more. Little recap about what I've been reading today. So this morning I read quite a bit more of Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. And then at work, I started both 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay and Recipe for a Perfect Housewife by Karma Brown. All three of them, that's a lie. No, sorry. 2 of them are literary fiction. And then 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas is memoir. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead is about, I'm not even sure how to describe it. There's this woman, this old woman. I love her. She's great. She lives in this like plateau neighborhood area place. And one night her neighbor comes to her door and says that their other neighbor has died. And so her and the neighbor go and visit him, and they talk to him, and it's really fun because she calls everyone by like nicknames she came up with for them. So her neighbor Oddball comes to get her, and then they go see that her neighbor Bigfoot has died. And then shortly after that, her and her friend Dizzy stumble upon another dead guy, but this time it seems like he might have been murdered because he fell down a well, but he died from a blow to his head that like couldn't have been caused from the drop into the well because it was too shallow or something like that. Basically, this woman, she is hugely supportive of animals and like hates hunting. She repeatedly reports on people that hunt illegally in the town. And so she starts to think that the animals are somehow rebelling against the humans, and they killed the two guys. I don't know. I don't know if this is a murder mystery. I don't know if this is just some weird coincidence. I don't know if it's going to end up being speculative and like the animals are actually doing something. Only time will tell, and I'm going to keep reading it, so I'll tell you eventually. And then 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay. This is the only one of the three that I actually own. This is sort of a memoir, sort of a book of short stories. Adam Kay is, I'm not sure if he's a nurse or a doctor or like I'm not entirely sure what he is. He's some kind of medical professional. He works in, he's from the UK, so I'm not actually sure like what the facility is called, but it seems to be the UK equivalent of like the ER or something. So he works there, and this is a book of stories of patients he has encountered while working the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day shifts at the hospital, and just all of the wacky patients and stuff that happens. I'm really not far at all. I forgot a bookmark. I'm on page 13. Whoop. It's very funny so far. I'm barely into it, but I'm already really enjoying it because the guy is just hilarious. So I'm looking forward to continuing it. And the last book I started was Recipe for a Perfect Housewife by Karma Brown. It is a dual narrative literary fiction novel about two housewives, essentially. In the present day, in 2018, you have this woman, Alice, and her husband, Nate. They live in New York, and they just moved from the city to Greenwich Village. Is that where they moved? I don't know. They moved somewhere not in the city. She has recently quit her job because she wants to write a novel, but she hasn't started it yet. She's essentially a housewife, and she is trying to figure out like what to do with herself and everything. They just moved into this big old house. Everything is vintage. The wallpaper is old. The house is in very bad shape, and it needs a lot of repairs. They're a little in over their heads trying to fix it. The second narrative is a woman in the 50s named Nellie and her husband Richard, and she is literally a housewife. She has no job. She's just stays at home all day taking care of Richard, and she becomes pregnant, but her husband is not a great guy. I haven't gotten that far into it yet. It's kind of just introducing the characters and setting it up, but I'm pretty sure that Nellie writes notes in the margins of her cookbook, like advice on how to be a good wife. And then Alice, who now lives in Nellie's house, because it used to be her house back in the 50s, that's where the dual narratives link together. She finds the cookbook and reads those notes of advice. But I don't know because I haven't gotten very far yet. So that was my reading update for what I did today. Overall, decent progress. Those 3 books I just mentioned are probably the 3 that I'm going to focus on reading this week. Now I'll check back in with you guys tomorrow. Thursday. This morning I finished Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk, and it was wonderful. The writing was gorgeous, the characters were unbelievably lovable. Like, I didn't expect to get so emotionally invested in each of the characters, but they were just great. The protagonist is this little old woman named Mrs. DeShaco, and I don't know, all of the characters were just, not all of them, but most of the characters, like the important ones, were all so supportive of her, and they were friends, and like they would get together and eat dinner together. I don't know, it was just really sweet. I really loved the characters, and I didn't expect to. If you're a hunter, this book is not for you, but if you're not, you should definitely read it, regardless, because it's so good. There is a mystery, but it is literary fiction at the same time, so it's not like that suspenseful or anything. It's actually a pretty laid-back mystery. Like, the mystery does not take over the entire book. There's still a lot of moments where it's just these people living their lives and this woman just going about her daily activities, but in a way that I enjoyed reading about. It didn't feel boring at all. Her thoughts on astrology and how they control the lives of others were just, I really liked hearing about it. I personally don't really care about astrology and all that. I mean, I know I'm a Virgo. I like zodiac signs, but she takes it to a whole other level. The book talks a lot about animal rights and animal cruelty and the obscenities of poaching and hunting. It was such a profound book, and yet it didn't feel like one. I mean, thinking back on it, everything she said was so, it was so well articulated, and yet I never felt like she was preaching at me. I felt like I was just in the life of this woman. I don't know, I would highly recommend it. It also won the Nobel Prize in Literature and the International Man Booker Prize, so if you care about awards like that, I mean, that's how you know it's a good book. Now I'm about to go into work. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot right now, where hopefully I will get to read more of 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay, and I know I will get to read more of Recipe for a Perfect Housewife by Karma Brown. It's hot, it's stuffy, I'm starving. Tonight I only got out 15 minutes late instead of 30, so we're doing good. I mean, the sun hasn't set yet. We're doing okay. Tonight I almost finished 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas. I think I have like 40 or 50 pages left, which is only like a third of the book, so I'm making progress. This is without a doubt the funniest book I have read all year, if not the funniest book I've read in my entire life. I mean, it is just hilarious. I am laughing out loud, which is weird when I'm at work because people like walk past and give me weird looks, especially since I have my mask on. It's questionable. It's just so funny. Which I knew it would be funny, but I guess I wasn't expecting for me to find it that funny, but I am. It really makes me want to read Adam Kay's first book, This Is Going to Hurt, because that is also a book of stories of him working in the hospital. But I didn't think it through, and I read the festive Christmas-themed one first. I don't know why I make these decisions, but I think I'm going to read his first book next. Like after I finish the Christmas one, just because I really love his writing and I want to hear more of his stories. Percy Jackson is getting a new adaptation on Disney Plus, and I haven't been able to think about anything else all day. I don't look very good right now because I just finished dance class and I'm not wearing any makeup, but I wanted to pop in for a quick update. It's Saturday morning. I didn't really do much yesterday. I didn't actually read any of the 2 books that I've been working on this week. And predictably, I started a new book, even though I'm already reading like 5 others at the same time, because that's just what I do, I guess. I started reading The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. It is about this young boy named Hiram who is born into slavery on a plantation in Virginia. This is in the past. I don't actually know the year because I'm really bad at historical dates, but I know it takes place in the past. His mother is sold to a different plantation when he is still very young, and his dad is actually the head of the plantation. And so one day the dad is walking around through the fields and he notices Hiram performing magic tricks of sorts, like special things. And he brings him to the big house where all of the rich white people live on the plantation. He realizes right away that Hiram is a very special kid. He's very intelligent, he's very talented. He has an eidetic memory, which makes him able to do all of these cool magic tricks where he'll have someone pick a card and then he knows which one it is because he remembers where it was in the deck. The father has Hiram study with his other son, Maynard's private tutor. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I don't feel like checking right now, so I'm just gonna call him that. Hiram studies for a year, and then the father decides that he is ready to become Maynard's assistant. Not quite what Hiram had in mind or what he was hoping, but he reconciles that it makes sense. Obviously, he couldn't be much more than an assistant. And Maynard is not a very bright person, and he's very immature and ill-fitted to take over the plantation when his father dies. And so the logic behind it is that if Hiram is his assistant, then when Maynard takes over the plantation, Hiram will be able to stand behind him and help him make smart decisions that won't run the place into the ground. Pretty ironic if you ask me. But then Maynard dies. And that's where I left off. I really have no clue what's going to happen next. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Hiram eventually leaves the plantation based on the synopsis on Goodreads, but I'm not sure how or why. I can already tell that this is going to be a highly moving and deeply profound book, just based on the tone and the things that have already happened. So I'm excited to keep reading, and I will give you an update later. It is 6:16 right now, in the evening. Why is it so sunny? I'm in the parking lot at work right now. It's Sunday. I didn't read at all yesterday. Literally nothing. Nothing. I'm currently reading like 8 different books. Not a single one of them got read yesterday. I mostly just did homework all day. So I didn't film anything. But now it's Sunday and I'm off to work and I'm hoping that I will get some reading done today. My goal is to finish 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas because I really only have like 40 pages left and I'm working for 5.5 hours. So I'm just hoping that it gets done. After that, who knows? I might start a new book. Knowing me, I probably will. I just filmed my June TBR, even though it's only halfway through May, because my hair looks too good to pass up an opportunity to film. I just finished 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay. I cannot express to you how much I loved this book. And I also cannot explain to you why I loved this book so much. I just did. It was just so hilarious. I was literally laughing out loud, not even exaggerating. I was fully laughing out loud and snorting to myself quite often while reading this. And the ending was actually really sweet and heartwarming. I don't know, but I have to read his first book now. I have to. And if he ever writes anything else in the future, I will be reading that too. I'm looking a little rough today, not to mention the glasses don't help, but I'm driving, so I need them. I'm actually sitting in the drive-thru at Dunkin' right now. Are we surprised? No. I didn't do much reading after my last update last night, but I did finish a graphic novel called Pumpkinheads, written by Rainbow Rowell and illustrated by Faith Erin Hicks. It was really cute. It's about these two teenagers that work at a pumpkin patch, like a seasonal big festival pumpkin patch place. And the guy is like trying to talk to his crush and the girl is helping him out, but then like they actually have feelings for each other. I don't know. It's super predictable, super generic, but it was so cute. I had a lot of fun reading it. It was super enjoyable. So I gave it 3 stars because it's just one of those books, like there's nothing special about it at all, but you can't stop smiling when you read it because it's just so fun. All in all, I only read 3 books this week. I say only, that's a good amount. Last week I read 4, sort of, so my goal was to match that. Obviously that didn't happen. I only read 3, but it's still pretty okay. You know, I'm still happy with that. I'm also, you know, chugging along in The Water Dancer and Recipe for a Perfect Housewife, so we're trying, you know. I hope that this was at least moderately entertaining. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.